so people for me too, because I started on YouTube 2 years ago, and like even today I hear this all the time. People are like, isn't it a little late for me to try and do this YouTube thing? And it's not, because a lot of the content out there gives you a taste, but not everything. And so if you can go on there and outvalue your competitors, you're going to win.
Hi there, and welcome to the WP Elevation podcast. I'm Mike Killen, a coach at WP Elevation and a WordPress marketing funnel specialist based in Devon in England. I am really excited to announce that our feature guest this week is Sunny Lenarduzzi from sunnylenarduzzi.com and of course her amazing YouTube channel. In this episode, Sunny is going to walk us through how to start finding more customers, higher quality customers, ranking higher in search engines, and creating authentic and amazing video content, all with YouTube and video. Stay with us.
This is the WP Elevation Podcast, helping WordPress consultants elevate.
Just before we get into this episode of the WP Elevation Podcast, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, GoDaddy Pro, who help us make this all possible. But instead of just giving you a spiel about how great GoDaddy Pro is, we thought it would be more interesting to introduce you to a GoDaddy Pro customer, a WordPress consultant just like you, and see what kind of work they're doing with their clients and the impact they're having on their community.
Melissa Gessinger of One Day Labs uses her talents to build websites in one day for her clients. With GoDaddy Pro Tools, she's able to achieve an entire website in one day for nonprofits that are looking to impact their community through her One Day Labs Day of Giving.
We have found that a great way to give back to the community is to have these events once a year where we are able to build a website for a nonprofit in our community for free in a day.
That's awesome. And then how did the Raise Collective website, how did that help their nonprofit? How did it help make an impact?
We built a site for the Raises Collective, which is a Sonoma County nonprofit that does a lot of giving back to the community, like the Hispanic community, people of color, through art installations and programs and that kind of thing. So having a good website built by a professional just raises an organization's credibility. And so being able to go through the process with us, we in about an 8 to 10 hour period of time, they had a new logo. Were able to have a brand new website with both English and Spanish translation.
Where can people find you to learn more about your business?
They can go to onedaylabs.com.
For more information about GoDaddy Pro, visit godaddy.com/pro for tools to support your business.
Okay, now let's get back to the show and see if we can help you take your WordPress consulting business to the next level.
Hey guys, Mike here, and I am extremely excited to be with the Sunny Lenarduzzi. Sunny, how you doing?
I'm so good. Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for coming. And I've definitely pronounced that correctly.
You did. I was very impressed because it's hit and miss.
Yeah, well, I think it's fine. I think it's like one of those phonetic ones.
Yes.
Sunny, like 111,000 subscribers on YouTube, 11,000 Facebook subscribers. Like it's insane. And yet there's a few people who maybe don't know what it is that you do. For those who don't know, tell us a bit about what Sunny Lenarduzzi does.
So basically I teach entrepreneurs how to leverage YouTube to grow their businesses and grow their brands. I started as a social media consultant. Prior to that, I was actually a journalist, but I started as a social consultant and I ran a consultancy for 4 years, just strictly off of word of mouth, and had some great clients, and then got to the point where I was really burnt out with having so many clients and working by myself, and really by accident filmed a YouTube video. My clients all had the same questions, and I was going on phone calls or going to meetings talking about these questions and advising them. Yeah. And I was like, this is a waste of my time. So I decided to sit down and film a tutorial on one of their most commonly asked questions, which was about live streaming at the time. Uh-huh. So I filmed a tutorial on how to use live streaming for your business, talked about Periscope. It had just come out. and I had no subscribers. So I just sent it to my clients and thought, no one's going to see this. No big deal. And then the next day I had 1,000 views. And the next day after that, I had 2,000 views. Now it has 80,000 views. And that's when I really realized the power of search on YouTube and making videos that people are looking for. So that's really how I built my channel up so fast. And it still is a very weird and surreal thing for me that I have been able to hit the milestone of past 100,000 subscribers in such a short time.
Yeah. And it's because we're talking about, this is what was interesting to me. By the way, guys, what we're going to be talking about is kind of video marketing, how to create video. To me, a video is like this game changer that I was able to be in front of people like 24 hours a day. Like, I love that. I understand it's quite intimidating for people to start with, but when I came across you, it was how to do videos. It was pretty simple stuff that was just a series of checklists, really. And yet now it's like Forbes, Entrepreneur, Inc. And this is all, like you say, when you started, Periscope had just come out. So we're not talking like 10 years ago even,
No, it's 2 years. Like
that's just insane.
I'm like, what happened? How did this happen? And I always say this and it sounds dramatic, but it's true. I say all the time, YouTube changed my life. YouTube changed my life. It changed my business. And it's become a really interesting thing for me because I'm at the point now where I get requests daily for people to work with me to figure out YouTube. And I'm like, it's second nature for me. But I think the beauty of it really is that it's not paid. It's like the final frontier of you don't have to pay to get views, and you're getting views every single day, and you're getting leads every single day from this free resource. And I'm like, why isn't everyone on the planet doing this?
Well, this is kind of what we want to start about. So why, you've kind of covered it there. Why is this so important? Why should people be jumping on this right now? Not only our elevators, but them teaching their customers. Why is this so important?
Yeah. So, well, I think that right there, what you just said, teaching your customers is really the crux of YouTube. So I really look at YouTube as an educational platform. It used to be a place where you would go to look at movie trailers and all these entertainment-based things, but Facebook has given them a run for their money. And Facebook is coming out with Facebook Watch and all these things. And I do believe, and I'm seeing that the trend for Facebook is that it's more entertainment-based content. Whereas for YouTube, what works really, really well is educational content, how-tos, tutorials. That's really been how I've built my channel, and doing them in a way that's really unique to me. And the reason that how-tos and tutorials do so well is because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Google is the first, and it owns YouTube. So you're never going to search for a topic or a tutorial and find a Facebook video in the search. Like, that's never going to happen.
That's a really good point.
So you're only going to find YouTube videos because the more traffic YouTube gets, the more advertising dollars for Google. It's just a win-win. So creating content that your customers are looking for is the most important part of YouTube. And that's how you grow and gain momentum super fast. And it's how you build this lead generation machine that is working for you while you're sleeping, literally.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well, that it staggers me that the mere concept of being able to have someone out there 24 hours a day, like, it's weird. People are happy to pay hundreds of thousands, millions to have an advert aired 4 times within the same hour.
Crazy?
And yet with a phone, like smartphones, like 4K now, I could have that 24 hours a day in front of 100 million people.
I know, it's nuts. Like, I just think that people don't quite understand that you don't necessarily have to pay to play. And I'm in this really funny position. I have a really great mentor, and I was at a mastermind last week, and everyone was talking about what was going on in their businesses and whatnot. And a lot of them are doing super well using Facebook ads and all these different kind of ads platforms. And I am just at a place 2 years into my business where I'm getting comfortable spending any money on advertising.
Right.
Because I'm like, why aren't the leads just coming for free? That's what happened to me for 2 years, and it still continues to happen. But now I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this free lead generation machine through YouTube. Now I'm adding fuel to the fire by doing paid advertising. And it's just like, it's like a no-brainer, and it makes things so much easier because I have both of these platforms now working for me. Yeah,
and that to me is kind of another great starter. Is it's actually often easier to start spending money on things like advertising and products and stuff when you've already got some kind of traction.
100%. And that's how and I know for a lot of entrepreneurs, that's how your mindset works. It's like, have a little bit of money in the bank before you even invest it into advertising. And for me, that's definitely how I operate. So it basically gave me capital to then go and and scale on a really crazy level by creating these Facebook ads and all these other types of ads as well for the business. And it's been crazy. It's been really crazy.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So meteoric growth, all right,
Yes.
through video. Let's say that I am a WordPress business. I haven't really done this kind of stuff before, but I want to start. I understand why I should get into video. Let's go through some of the basic steps of how to start doing that. Because I think some people get intimidated wrongly about why they should be on video. But what's the first thing I should do or first thing I should know if I want to start putting video content out there, particularly maybe through YouTube?
Great question. So particularly for YouTube, I always recommend just listening to your current customers and list. And if you don't have, this is a question I get a lot. It's like, well, I don't have an audience yet on social media, or I don't have an email list, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So a hack for that is there are other businesses out there who have an audience that's very similar to yours.
Yeah.
What you can do is go to their website, go to their social platforms, and see what their audience is asking them in the comments sections. See if they have a frequently asked questions page on their website. That right there gives you video topics. So because Google and YouTube are search engines, you want to pay attention to the most commonly asked questions, because if one person's asking it, there's 1,000 more people out there searching for that answer. So it's particularly with WordPress, like, I mean, for me, first of all, the word WordPress like hurts my head because I'm not technical, and I am not good at anything to do with that stuff. Thank God I have someone on my team who excels at it. But for me, I would spend hours probably if I was trying to do it on my own, searching for how to do certain things with WordPress. And this is a common concern for people. It's like, okay, well, if you're telling people how to do these things through a YouTube video for free, why would they pay for your services? Because we are an inherently lazy people. And generally the way that you could ask me about how to rank a video on YouTube, which I have a video on that just came out today. And I could go through it in 2 seconds flat. Takes me no time.
Yeah.
However, if I'm a newbie and I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm trying to figure this out on my own, if I'm listening to the information that I'm sharing, my head's going to explode.
Yeah.
So I would rather go to the expert, find the expert, and be like, whoa, okay, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's who I want to work with.
Yes. Yeah. And
so
so
I always say it's like the biggest mistake companies make with really any video platform is that I call it the look what I can do versus look what I can do for you. So companies will be like, look what I can do. Here's an advertisement, basically, for my services. Buy something from me, without providing any educational value or any really content value for their audience.
Yeah.
And that does not work anymore. And so I put out so much information on my YouTube channel for free, and I'm doing just fine, because the more value I put out in my videos, the higher I rank, the more valuable they are to my customers, the more comments I'm getting, the more Google favors the content, the more people see it through search, the more people are like, she's the expert. That's what I want to teach me. I'm going to buy her stuff. Yeah.
So like the biggest thing to me was a lot of WordPress businesses, when they're first starting out and they're kind of at the stage with WP Elevation, is they're like, how do I differentiate myself? And we're always saying, go where your competition aren't, go where your competition aren't. I guarantee you, your competition aren't producing videos. So to me, it was like for that exact reason, because they're scared, they're worried that, you know, it's like saying, well, if I teach my girlfriend, she's like a sports therapist. She's constantly saying the difference between me showing someone how to train for a marathon and running a marathon are two very different things. Like you've got to pick one of them to work with. So if you're putting that stuff out there, you're the one saying, I actually know how I can help you get that and do that thing, right? You know?
Yes, exactly. I just think it's really important to understand it is that mindset of like, the more, I believe generosity equals abundance. So I feel like the more you can give, the more you're going to get in return.
Yep. Okay.
And I really do, just one thing on that, I really do think that, so people for me too, because I started on YouTube 2 years ago, and like even today I hear this all the time. People are like, isn't it a little late for me to try and do this YouTube thing? And it's not, because a lot of the content out there gives you a taste, but not everything. And so if you can go on there and outvalue your competitors, you're going to win.
Yeah.
And that's how I was able to beat people that were on the platform way longer than me, that I have so much more respect for, but I was able to do updated content and outvalue them with the amount of information I was giving away.
Yeah. I like that. Outvalue them. Something that Troy talks a lot about is it's really hard to negotiate and negotiate price on someone who is apparently the authority and the expert, and the people who are authorities and experts have video content. But it's, I think a lot of people get worried that like, it's the other way around, that suddenly they'll achieve expert status and someone will say to them, you should start a YouTube channel. And it's the other way around, right?
It's the other way around. It is and it isn't. It's funny. So I'm now, so I have one program called YouTube for Bosses, and it's really for people who are just trying to build their authority. And then I've created another level because I really have been like begged basically and pushed to create it from people who are established entrepreneurs who see the value of doing video. But you'd be shocked. Even people who speak in front of audiences of 20,000, the thought of doing video to them is terrifying.
Yeah.
So even if you have established authority, it's really then taking that authority and scaling it using video and being seen by a bigger audience, which for everyone at every level, and I totally get it, is scary. I get that.
So let's say that I have decided then that I want to start doing this. I get it. I'm like, yeah, I want to start outranking people. I've got some ideas from some pieces of content and some topic and stuff. And then the next roadblock to me is like, I don't know if I've got the world's greatest camera equipment. I've only got a phone. I've got a webcam or maybe even the one I'm pointing at. Like, what do I need to start doing to physically create the videos?
So again, this is a very funny part of how I started my channel. I had a webcam that was $80. It was a Logitech C920 webcam.
The C920. Everyone loves it, right?
Yeah. It's so good. So I used that. And then I had a lav mic, which was just a Rode Record mic, which I think is around $80 as well. And then I didn't have a tripod. So I used a stack of books and put my computer on the books, and I sat in front of my window, and that was my lighting. Yeah. So I did that for the first year and my first 50,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Like
that's mental.
I didn't use anything else because I was like, you know why? This is why. And this is a prime example. So I actually, about a year before I started doing tutorials, I dabbled with doing vlogs. And I was so concerned with how I looked, how I sounded. The set had to be perfect. Like everything had to be perfect. And those videos to this day have like 400 views on them, like nothing. So the moment that I made the first video that I created as a tutorial, which was just for my clients, I didn't put any effort into what I looked like. I didn't care at all. The only thing I was concerned about was creating valuable content for my clients that they would actually understand. So I say that the production quality does not need to be that high. What needs to be really, really valuable is the content that you're actually providing, how helpful it is to people. So taking your kind of ego out of the equation and just starting with what you have.
That's a really interesting, because a lot of the stuff that we try to go over and I've tried to explain to people is we've been telling stories and helping people long before 4K existed. So people must get something out of,
it's shocking,
whatever it is that you do, radio is still massive, like with the podcasts, you guys listen to it now.
Well, even if you look at something like Instagram stories or Snapchat, it's like, that is the lowest production value. However, Snapchat is a beast. And that's why Instagram and Facebook are basically copying them. Like there is something to be said for authenticity and just using what you have. And so if you have a phone, you can start making YouTube videos, in my opinion. And the only things I'll say are, if people can hear you and see you, you're good.
That's interesting.
So you don't need a super great mic. You don't need anything other than a window and natural light. That is good enough to get started for production value.
Yeah. And I think, again, it's removing yourself from the ego. First of all, I like the idea that people are like, oh, I don't want to appear on camera too badly. I'm like, look, if you hit like 1 million subscribers and 1 million people see you looking like garbage, that's fine. Like, that's the worst that will happen is that 1 million people will see you.
Yes. And that is such a great problem to have. I'm like, awesome. And that was something, so for me, that was something I was so insecure about when I made that first video, because I'm not even kidding. And I tell this story often. I hadn't showered that day. I was literally wearing pajama bottoms.
Sonny Lenarduzzi, ladies and gentlemen.
You're welcome. It's shocking how many times I've told the story, TMI for sure. But, like I just did not put much effort into myself that day. And I was literally sitting on my couch in my apartment. And so the moment it started to kind of rack up all these views from all over the world, I was like, no.
That's hilarious. That's absolutely amazing. That's brilliant.
And I wanted to take it down, but I was like, nope, the comments are all positive because I'm actually helping people.
Yeah. And this is kind of, the next thing is like you say, you mentioned about you wanted to get the lighting perfect and the structure perfect and stuff. And it's kind of the difference between publishing something that's 60% done that you think is like, but at least it's out there, compared to not publishing something that's like 99%,
Done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
That is what I've learned. And I am totally a recovering perfectionist. 100%.
Yeah.
So to even say that is funny, but I think we as a business, and my team will attest to this, just get it done, get it out there, and make sure it works before you're like tweaking and changing. And if you've watched from the moment we started on YouTube to where we are now, like our production quality now is really good. And it looks beautiful, and I'm really proud of it. But that has taken so many different iterations, so many evolutions, and we're constantly thinking about how to up our game now. Why? Because we have the resources to do so.
Yes.
Because YouTube grew our business that much. That's the thing. So you have to really be truthful to where you're at and what you can put into this. And if you can only use an iPhone, use an iPhone and start.
Yeah. And that kind of, it's funny you should say that, because one of your playlists is like your TV appearances. And I watch that compared to like the stuff that you do now. And I'm like, those guys could really learn a lesson like from some, like, I kind of think they should watch some of her videos. But it's interesting you see.
The funny thing is they do. I've actually had a lot of phone calls from people I used to work with in media. And they're like, hey, can we bring you in for
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, sure.
I like the fact that, because you can see, it's actually the same with all kind of the bigger YouTube influencers. You go back and watch some of their earlier stuff, and it is like, it's phone, it's webcam, and then over time you got tracking shots, and Troy's just installed a new studio, and he loves playing around in that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that the production quality can only increase, but the quality, the actual content, the value of what you're saying has to stay consistent all the time.
It does.
You know?
It does. It's so important, because that's what people judge you off of. Like, and I say this a lot too. It's like, looks will get your attention. So it's great. If you want to have it look really pretty, that's awesome. Yeah. But the funny thing about YouTube, just on a technical note too, is that if you think about how it operates and that it is a search engine, I mean, again, this is something I like to reiterate with my clients, is like, no one's looking for you. And so it's the opposite of what most people want to hear, because your ego wants to be like, well, it needs to look good, and they're looking for you. Nobody is going to YouTube typing in Sunny Lenarduzzi. They're going to YouTube typing in how to get more views on YouTube. How do I rank my videos number one? How do I grow my Instagram following? And then I happen to show up with the answer. So on that note too, like if someone clicks on my video, and I have this crazy introduction that takes like 5 minutes and all these bells and whistles, people will tune out because I'm not giving them what they want. So it's about finding the balance that's going to make you feel confident, but also really getting to the point quickly.
Yeah. That to me is the biggest killer. Is I watch a lot of how-to videos.
Totally, me too.
And the difference to me is someone who shoots on their phone, like particularly car repair. I seem to have non-stop problems with my car. They'll turn the phone around and show me where the problem is. Or the difference between someone who has like a 30-second title intro and then like talks about like, hey guys, and I'm like, get to the point, dude.
Yeah, and they're wondering like why people are tuning out. It's because nobody has time for that. So, and I think just like for the audience too, is watching, rethinking about doing YouTube, the worst thing you can do too is like, you just said it, I've said it, I go to YouTube to search for things and to search for answers and solutions. So if I go to a video and it's, say I want to go to a video for how to fix my car, and then I click on it and the person's like, okay, so this is why it's really important to fix your car. I already know that. Like, I'm here because I know. Don't tell me why. You don't need to explain it. That's why I'm watching this video.
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah. Long
intros and explaining why they should watch it are two of the biggest killers for retention.
That's really good. I like that. That's a tactic that people can actually work on. Okay, so let's say I've decided to bite the bullet. I've got some topics. I filmed my first few videos, and I'm kind of like, cool. Now I just wait for the platinum subscriber emblem to just roll in, right? What happens once I've got, because what's interesting is yours is one video a week, right?
Yep.
Which again blows my mind, because everyone's like, I'm going to publish 15 videos a day. And even if they do it, I'm like, you look like a psychopath, because
you do. And who has time for that? That's my big question. So that's been a strategic move on my part. Is one, for the first year, I was filming, editing, doing everything myself. And there's no way that I had time to run my business and also do that with more than one video a week. So now it's a strategy, because each video takes quite a bit of work, in the sense that it's, it's, as far as where I'm at now, I spend 4 hours a month scripting and filming, and then everything else is done by my editor. But the optimization part of it, it takes some time. So when you upload your video, to actually get the metadata right and do the optimization and do your tagging, and also doing like your pinging and all of that stuff to get it ranked, like there's a lot of steps in there. To get done. So it's not just about publishing the video and then being like, great, everyone's gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort and work, and that's why we do one a week, and I'm a big believer in quality over quantity. The one thing and caveat to that now, though, which is amazing, is YouTube Live, because you can totally go live every day if you want to, and those videos can get ranked just as easily. I have one video that I did with a girlfriend of mine who is an expert on Instagram, and we just haphazardly filmed a live video on how to get more followers, and it's ranked on page 1. So that's driving so much traffic to her and to me, and she's like, this is magic. And we put no production value into it. So if you're going to do more than one a week, I think that that's a really smart strategy. And if you're in the entertainment space and you're strictly blogging, doing more than once a week is great, because you're trying to build really like an engaged audience for you as a personality. Whereas for me, that's happened accidentally, but mine's more so for building my business.
Yeah. And it's interesting, like the difference between the thing I hear a lot of people, particularly in the WordPress space, they're like, I don't have any clients at the moment. I'm like, well, you're probably pretty quiet then. What are you doing in that time?
Totally.
Start recording some videos. Even if you publish one a week, you can build up a pretty big bank.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of things like the habit as well. Like I'm sure you have a process of how you like to shoot your videos, right?
Absolutely. Like there's SOPs for YouTube videos that are very, very detailed. And now I have a team around me, which is amazing. So I have one person dedicated to doing the YouTube process every week. And it's fairly lengthy, but I think the way to think about that is like, if we rank our videos number 1, which is the goal every week, then that video is going to garner hundreds, if not thousands of views every day. And that's hundreds, if not thousands of free leads every day that are going to our email list. So I would rather spend a ton of time putting into optimizing the video and get that result for free than just kind of winging it and hoping for the best.
Yeah, that's kind of the difference between, I think we tend to have this, we'll kind of wrap it up in a bit. I know you're super busy. We have this thing about like, it's about writing a blog post, but then people will move on to another one. Or if they create a video, they'll move on to another one rather than spending the time optimizing it, promoting it as well. If you have 20 people on your email list, you should be telling them about the content you've just created, you know? I'm
such a believer in that. And that's actually another key to how fast I've grown. And also my students. So I have one student, I feel like a proud parent talking about her, because she actually outgrew me so fast. And so she grew her channel from scratch to 100,000 subscribers in 10 months or 11 months, which is insane.
That's
she's
insane.
And like, people are like, oh, what does she talk about? Like, it must be some sexy topic. I'm like, no. She like teaches people how to find the right career for themselves. Like that's her topic.
Yeah.
So I just think it's interesting that like, you don't have to be in the entertainment space to do well on YouTube, but I think that's the preconceived notion, and also a lot of the excuses and fear people have is they think I need to be a certain way or act a certain way or talk a certain way. And you can look at myself, you can look at her, like we grew that fast because we were following a strict strategy every week.
Yes.
And optimizing every video and leveraging the small followings, to your point, that we did have. When I started sharing my YouTube videos, I definitely had less than 100 people on my email list.
Yep.
And I had, maybe a couple thousand people who are following me on social media. But even if you have, I say this all the time, even if you have 30 people who follow you on Instagram, share your video with those 30 people.
Yeah.
And ask them to go watch it, because that's going to help you grow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I think that's a perfect place to kind of begin to wrap this up. The work is not done when you hit publish. It has to be about putting it out there. And also even the dumb stuff, like when we're at networking events, telling people, oh, I actually have a video about this. Like
absolutely
taking every opportunity you can to introduce people that you have this 24-hour content,
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So starting at the beginning, we want to listen to our audience. And even if we don't have an audience, we've probably got competitors who do have an audience, and we can hear what we can do the research, and that gives us the topics, right?
Yes.
Okay. So ultimately, we want to get over that fear of, oh, if I give away, then they won't want to come to me, because ultimately people are lazy and they actually want to see the person who's told them about it, right? That's kind of, that's like how our heads work,
Yeah.
You don't have to have super expensive equipment to start.
Not at all.
It literally is the C920 in front of me.
It's the best camera.
We recently got the Brio 4K, which I really like as well. I really like that. But this is the one I use more often, to be honest. Yeah.
It's the best starter camera.
Yeah, there's an amazing camera. It's about making sure that they can hear you and see you. But making sure that your content sticks to the topics and that's the super useful bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing as well is, like, I find even with the video side, as long as the audio's listenable, as long as they can hear it, it can even just be like, I've even seen like people with slides. In fact, you have those like gamer videos where it's just the game footage over and over. I'm like, visually, this is boring as hell, but I'm still listening.
Totally. Right? I mean, I have screencast videos too. And they're certainly not the most interesting things in the world, but they give people what they're looking for. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm big fan of that. Actually, that's a really good point. Understanding that YouTube is a search engine, right? Yeah. Massive point there. Yeah. You mentioned about keeping the intro short, making sure that you get to the point of the topic. Yeah. So people don't tune out, because it's really important to understand that retention is one of the biggest ranking factors. So you need people to watch your whole video. So the faster you can get into the content and go through the steps, the more of the video people will actually watch, the higher you'll rank. Yeah, that's really important. That's really good. I like that a lot. You've done all of this on one video a week? Yes. Yeah,
but consistently, right?
Consistently. I mean, we've missed a few weeks here and there, but yeah, I think a big key to growing is being very consistent with your content. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a big believer in that what you give, you absolutely get, but you have to be consistent with what you give, and you have to stick to the thing that you want to give and get, you know? Yeah, totally. Okay. And kind of just wrapping that up, make sure that it's optimized, make sure you're sharing it. The work is not done when you've hit publish, right? Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of work to do before you hit publish, but then there's also a lot to do as soon as you're finished. So knowing that you have kind of a resource and a checklist, which is something that in the program, YouTube for Bosses, we have an actual checklist. So it's like every time you post a video, this is what you need to do. Yeah, awesome. Well, I've taken a huge, like your free channel is just mind-blowingly full of stuff. Like, it's unbelievable how much you give away. I can totally see why people want to work with you. Thank you. No, thank you very much for coming on. Anything else in the meantime? Any last little tidbits before we sign off? I don't think so. That was really fun. Thank you for having me. No, very, very cool. Thanks for coming on. So how can people reach out to you? How can people get in touch? Best way is my website. So sunnylenarduzzi.com. You'll find all of my free resources there and all the links to my social channels there, as well as all my paid programs. Awesome. Epic. Okay, cool. Well, I'll make sure to send people there. Guys, if you want to kind of read over the show notes and stuff, it's going to be wplelevation.com/Sunny Lenarduzzi. And that's 1 N and 2 Zs, right? Yes. Well done. There we go. Done his research. In the meantime, guys, thanks very much. Sunny, I kind of want to kind of keep this going. Who do you reckon I should interview next? Who comes to mind who would be good to interview next? Someone who has helped me a lot, and we have a really funny relationship because he's helped me grow my business, and he's the master of Facebook ads and funnels and omnipresence, which is what he is launching now. His name's Scott Oldford, and I'm actually now helping him use YouTube. So there you go. It's all come full circle. Scott, so I'm going to be coming for you, and I'm going to see if I can get some contact details. Sunny, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you very much for having me. No, you're very welcome. Cool. Bye now. Bye. Hey there, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode as much as I did. I just wanted to keep asking more and more questions. Sunny's so easy to talk to. Really, really epic episode. Remember to visit wplelevation.com/Sunny Lenarduzzi to watch the episode and get access to a few of the notes and write-ups that we've left, and leave us some feedback in the comment section below. Please subscribe to the podcast and give us a rating and review in iTunes. It really helps us spread the word. Just visit wplelevation.com/iTunes. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to your company on the next episode of the podcast. Until then, go elevate.